Okay. All right. So what are we looking at tonight, guys?
First one I have is Emily Howard.
Howard, H-O-W.
Yes.
Okay.
Story on this woman, December 2014, she got divorced. On her credit report, she has a mortgage and auto, reporting that her husband is paying for her.
December of 2014.
Correct.
Okay.
I know I've already been through these hoops before. I feel like I know we need a divorce decree and 12 months cancel checks in order to omit the debt, from my understanding. I'm just worried because she's not going to be able to show 12 months cancel checks of her ex-husband.
You can try to go USDA.
Make those payments. Honestly, whatever.
FHA, you don't need the 12 months. You just need a divorce decree.
Okay.
So the only time you need a divorce decree, cancel checks for omitting a mortgage on a divorce decree is with USDA. They will not just take the divorce decree. So FHA will take the divorce decree. Now, if the ex-spouse is late on the mortgage, it's downgraded to a manual, because obviously they're not going to get a Gus approval if they're late on the mortgage. Gus is going to pick that up. So one thing, Fernando, I don't know if you've done it, but you do need to practice running Gus and DU if you have not.
No, I haven't.
You need to, that's a really important thing, that if you have some files for him or vice versa, definitely run some of your files. That's a very important thing, so you can start studying those finding reports.
Gus is for USDA,
Right.
and then D is for FHA, right? Or
FHA and conventional, and VA. Okay. Yeah, DU is the biggest of them all. But so yes, for FHA you can do that. Now, if you're wanting to go USDA still, because she's only been 5 months from the divorce, I would email Cindy and ask her if we can use the 5 months, because they've only usually been divorced for 5 months. Maybe there's some type of exception. What state is this in? This is in Fort Texas. Okay. Actually, what you could do is let's check with, I'll send you the contact. We have a good relationship with the USD in Texas. You can just email them directly if you want to, instead of going to Cindy.
Well, I mean, before we get that far, I want to find out a price range, because even with omitting that Toyota loan and the house, her income is pretty light. I just want to make sure, we're in the same range here. If she's wanting 150,000 and that's all she wants, there's no point to jump through the hoops. You know what I mean? This is
100,000.
That's where her ratios are. So
what's her score?
700.
She's
got good credit. It's just going to be able to find.
Well, yeah. Are you sure about the income? No alimony, or not alimony? Any other incomes coming in, or?
Yeah, that's it. That's what she gave me right for now.
No child supports, or?
I'll double check on it.
Okay.
But my initial.
Okay.
I mean, I obviously don't want to jump through all the hoops.
No.
Set on.
No.
What I mean?
This is the whole thing, like I was saying earlier, about making sure that if this person dead set on 150,000, there's no loan there if you can't get. So don't run all this Gus and go over here, go over there. You spend 5 hours, and then the person's like, well, screw you, I want 150, you can qualify for 80. Well, you just wasted 5 hours of your time. You see? See if she can get a cosigner. You should be asking that pretty much on everybody, unless the people will flat out qualify by themselves. But you need that's a standard questions. Are you a veteran, or are you eligible for VA? Can you get a cosigner, or do you have gift funds? I mean, you need to ask that to everybody, because that should be an ingrained question to ask these people. Those should be standard questions now.
Yeah, this was a email I have, but I just got into that. I haven't had a chance to get more into the grade.
No, I'm just saying, just in general.
Oh, yeah.
I think you guys are at a point now where you all know that's a common question. You're gonna see that, like you're saying, these common threads. This is the common question to ask people. Do you have VA benefits, cosigner, gift funds? Check. Well, yeah. So assuming, the income and all that's correct and all she can go is, I mean, this isn't even too high for her. She's most likely about 80K. And you could probably get 52 with her score. You can probably go up to 52. But if we're going FHA, your most you can probably go to if that income's right. There's no other income's about 80. Probably can get her to go up to that. She has a high credit score.
USDA back end.
No, this is for FHA.
Right.
Yeah.
We could put in MCC on this too.
Well, no, if she has a mortgage. I mean, she was a homeowner, right?
Right. You gotta be first time.
Well, within 3 years. So couldn't do MCC on it. So, we need to find out. Maybe she can get her brother to co-sign, and then she can go up to 150.
Right.
Maybe not. I don't know, but it's worth a shot.
Yep.
So,
Good credit, just gotta find out.
have you ever came across anything like that, Fernando?
No, I haven't.
Okay. And all these videos will be recorded so you can access them. We've done several of them in similar, different situations.
Are they on the G drive or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, but it should help. I mean, if something comes up, on what to refer to.
The next one is last name Poe, P-O-E.
Okay. Which one?
Angie. On this one, their scores aren't bad. The only thing that I'm hesitant about is it appears that there's a foreclosure and auto charge off after the bankruptcy. And I'm kind of just wondering if this is something you think FHA would take.
You trying to go FHA or USDA?
Either, whatever. I
Okay.
can make work.
I mean, they have reestablished credit. Do they still have this mortgage?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's still showing a balance. So,
Have you talked to them about this?
yeah, she's trying to. I requested paperwork.
Well,
Showed
what-
that she said it was foreclosed.
She said this was foreclosed on?
Yeah. I told her, just give me any paper you can have that what happened to that mortgage. That's the way. And I asked for the discharge papers, but
Mm-hmm.
but I just noticed that auto and that appear to be after the bankruptcy. 'Cause slow pays on the auto in 2014. They're showing slow pays on the house in 2013, and then the bankruptcy was discharged in 2011. So that's what.
Well, the account was opened after the bankruptcy, according to this.
Right. So it's gotta be. Their scores aren't bad. They reestablished. I just.
Yeah, it's just the thing that they could probably get over this. She told you this was in the bankruptcy too?
No,
Oh,
it wasn't right.
are they still paying on this car?
I
We need to find out because this shows a balance here. And find out if they still what's going on with this car loan here. And then now this Vanderbilt I'm concerned about because it appears that they reaffirmed the mortgage because look, it's late 1 to 14. And
what does it mean when there's an app after that? Does that mean it's going
Foreclosure. And I'm sorry, you said that I'm sorry, did you say when she said it did go into foreclosure?
Yeah. Did she
Did she tell you when though?
No.
It looks, now, again, this is why you have to validate everything. It appears that she filed a bankruptcy, discharged it, but affirmed the mortgage, and then later on surrendered it after the discharge. If that's the case, it's 3 years from this date up here, not from here.
Right, when the deed is.
Or for USDA, for FHA, it's 2 years, but it'll be 3 years from the deed transfer for. So you definitely need the Chapter 7 bankruptcy discharge paperwork with Schedule F, show the creditors, and then a copy of the deed. And so how you want to present this to the customer and say, look, I'm working on getting your loan pre-approved. You still stay positive and upbeat. I got to check out some stuff, and I need you to help me out here and give me some information. I need the discharge of the bankruptcy. I need any information you have on this foreclosure from Vanderbilt, either a deed transfer or something. Help me out here to get your loan approved. And then also, what happened with this car loan here, because it still shows a balance. Okay. I mean, I want to get your loan approved. Can you help me out? I need your assistance to help me to put this together. And so, and then we can move on and get it figured out for you. So everything else, as far as your scores and ratios, look good. I just need help in this area right here.
That was a similar circumstance, like with Dallas Smith,
Right.
With his,
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, no, not really, because he actually did include it in his bankruptcy, and they waited a few years to foreclose on him.
But the data transfer.
Right, the data transfer part is the same,
Foreclosure.
but this lady, this was not how his was reporting. This is like she kept the house and then later on said fuck it and let it go into foreclosure.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that's what really happened. One thing you guys have to understand, this has been presented to you. You don't have no idea if this is really true or not. That's how you need to assume this is not right. Now, most of the time it is, but every once in a while it's wrong. About 30% of the time it's wrong.
Especially with collections and judgments, man. Every time, usually they have proof of judgment or tax unsatisfied.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
You know?
On those ones, yeah. So, but you can't. A lot of these loan officers, man, I'm telling you, where they screw up, they'll freaking deny someone just by looking at this and never even talk to the person. You've got to have a conversation with them, but that's just a starting point. Now, what's your documentation? Yeah, it's not mine. It's not mine. There's some people that lie, right? Or it is not theirs, but they can't prove it. I had a big loan where I lost it. It was a $400,000 VA loan, and he had a foreclosure on his credit, but he could not prove that the loan. Here's what happened. A collection agency bought the mortgage and re-reported it as a new debt, new collection, but he could not prove that was from the collection agency, and so the underwriter Lynn denied the loan because he didn't have evidence to show that the new collection was from the collection agency and not a mortgage. Lynn was treating it as a foreclosure, and so it was a very weird situation. It was a timeshare. And that's how I guess the collection agency in Florida was able to purchase it, because it wasn't like a traditional mortgage. But anyway, he couldn't prove it. And it really didn't happen to him. I mean, it was an old foreclosure, but this other company came and repurchased it and re-reported it as a brand new foreclosure. And anyway, he couldn't prove it, so he couldn't get the loan. So sometimes they can't get the evidence. So, but I always operate from the standpoint that this credit report is not correct, and be on their side to try and inquire. But really, you're not really on their side. You're trying to. I mean, you are. Let me rephrase that. You are on their side, but you're trying to find the objective truth. And so, because you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Because I don't know if you guys have ever had anything reporting your credit's not accurate. Maybe not yet. You're too young, but one day you might. And sometimes it's it's a bitch to get it off there. So, just don't deny people because you see this kind of stuff. You need to find out further, and especially when you're new like that, definitely You know, that's one thing I had to break Ron and Mike out of with. Ron and Mike used to see this stuff, they just deny the customer. You know, when they first started. No, you don't qualify. Boom. And then I go back and dig and find, oh no, it was part of here.
Right.
You know, I mean, I know it sounds crazy and bizarre to you guys, but it happens every day. I don't know. I mean, how that happens. I mean, it's like we were talking about earlier. You get stuck in these bad habits, and so, you know. Anyway.
Next one I had last name Bickert, Bickert. I was doing a rescore on this guy. Came back good. Scores went up drastically. Looking at, we're going to FHA, but I don't know. I can't remember why. The scores are high enough for USDA now, but I try to push it through US or FHA because they can come up with a down payment, and it's getting referred, man. I don't know what the hell to do. But
This loan's getting referred for an FHA.
yeah. You just paid down a card, pop those scores up pretty quick. This is the guy that was a chef at Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Before.
Wow, his scores went up good.
Yeah, he was like a 600 middle score, I believe, before the rescore. So we got what we wanted. I think we were only trying to get him to just over 620, so we could go FHA. He's entered into an IBR. I know, I'm still waiting on the paperwork. I just can't figure out. I made sure seller concessions were in line, all that. I believe I did run a Cavers on too, and cleared that. He's got the 2 years after Chapter 7.
Yeah, he can't go USDA though.
Well, yeah, that's why we can't go USDA. I
Yeah.
can't remember it first.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if we're gonna, for manual underwrite FHA. I don't know if he's going to be able to show rental because he's living with his parents, and he sent me his bank statements about what he's paying his parents, and it's different every month. Like 1 month he's throwing 325, the next month it's 200, next month it's 600. You know what I mean? I just don't know.
Okay, let me come look at your DU.
Okay.
How much does this guy have in reserves?
Not too much. I believe he's been saving up because we told him, you know, you're gonna have to come up with a 3.5%. I put that in there just so it cover the down payment and leave some reserves to see what would happen in DU. Figuring that's about where it'd be at.
Now, do you have the new credit in DU?
Well, yeah, I remember I did the new credit. I
Okay.
reissued the.
So you have this credit report.
Yeah, I copied the number. Yes,
Okay.
I remember I did that. Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's not an option for him to just stack up, like throw in, 5,000. That's not realistic. It's not going to happen right away. I mean,
What do you mean throwing 5,000?
for assets, like adding another.
Oh, okay.
Checking.
What if
We talked about gift funds. I don't believe that was an option. I'll try to retouch on it, but
okay. The only thing I think of is because the bankruptcy is so recent, but still, you should be getting approved eligible.
okay. All right, we can look at it.
Yeah, I'm just that's sometimes I've had this happen to me before. I mean, I remember many years ago I lost a loan. It was a big loan in Oklahoma, like a $250,000 loan, and the guy he had a mortgage he was late on, like 30 days late, and or he couldn't get the approved eligible. It was 30 days late. It was like one time in the last, like over a year old. We must have ran it 100 times. And yeah, well, it was the only thing we could figure out. We couldn't. It was a 200-some-thousand loan. We couldn't get it approved. And it was very, very disappointing because we had to deny him. But it seemed like a no-brainer loan coming in. And
yeah, I saw the scores come back on this thing. I was like, oh, we're good to go. I'm about to issue a pre-approval. Thank you, God. And then I'm not getting approved. So I was like,
Yeah, we're gonna have to take a look at it and see, maybe there's some tweaking, maybe not. We might have to send it over to RC and Trevor, to get an exception. Maybe there's something we can do to turn it around. Maybe they'll take it without, what I was thinking, my thinking was on the reserves, maybe it was 6 months reserves, waive the rental. But that would be 3,000 or, 2,500 plus the down, so he would need about $5,000 total.
Right.
So,
Right.
and it couldn't be gift funds because manual normally has to be your own funds. So if that's not a case, then how soon does this guy want to close?
I don't know. I didn't call him because I wanted to look at everything first before I gave him a call. But last I talked to him, just waiting on the rescore from that.
Okay. Okay. So we'll look at that one. By the way, while we're on this, what's going on with Richard Tristler? Who's working Tristler? You are?
Waiting on rescore to come back.
Okay.
Yeah, the judgment paperwork come in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
you
ordered
ordered
the
that
rescore.
one.
Yeah,
Okay.
just waiting on that. Yep.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
The next one I had is Dustin Miller. I think I had it. Clint Miller. This isn't more of a question that I have with his credit. Well, kind of, he doesn't have his score number one, and Co is good when it not 100% sure on these when a situation like this happens. USDA, they won't take something like this, right?
No, USDA will take it. FHA will not.
So exact opposite. Well,
Right.
Why is
FHA, you have to have at least one score. USDA, we can do a no score, it's a manual underwrite.
but they have to have a Co with them.
No, they don't have to have a co borrower.
So USDA, you can have no score.
Right.
Do all trade loans and
You can all trades, rental history. Now, here's the deal though, on that no score on the borrower, whoever it is, it essentially has to be a blank slate type of credit. So it cannot be like the guy had all kinds of fucked up collections and no score. They won't take that.
So limited credit.
Well, I mean, okay, medical collections probably is gonna fly, but anything like you got a bunch of collections and stuff like the creditors, no way. And no score at all.
Okay. Well, the question on this one, besides that, is I've never heard of what the hell this guy's asking for. He's asking for looking to build a house with an agricultural post frame. I'm like, what in the hell are you talking about?
See, this guy's got a tax lien right here.
He's got proof of that.
Okay. When you say agricultural post frame,
You said that's like half. You said like the walls go up and they're like, I don't know, like metal walls or something, and then they design the inside, but then there's a wall that like separates it from the barn, like, and they're bringing cattle, and I'm just like, what? I don't even know what the hell this guy's talking about. I need to ask Angelo if he knows what agricultural post frame is. It just doesn't sound-
no, he's looking to get a construction loan.
Yeah. His company apparently builds these places, and like the way he described it was like the one wall separates the house from the barn. It's like you get a 2-for-1, like you get a house and the barn. And
No, we can't do that.
Okay, I didn't think so, but I just wanted to.
No, we can give him a loan for a house.
Right.
A new home or existing or foreclosure, and he does qualify for a loan with us. Now, the thing I was going to say, though, if he's trying to go USDA, his income looks kind of high. So I would verify his income's not over the limit. If his income is over the limit, see if they have child care expenses, or there can be a fifth person that can live in the home with them. If that's a possibility. If not, then to go FHA, take her accounts and add them to his and go FHA. She's got credit. So take some of these accounts here, this secured card, these installments. Definitely take this revolving account.
Add him as an authorized user.
Yeah. Someone else, if she's on this account with somebody else.
So if we were to add someone as an authorized user, and they sent us proof that they were added, then we take that and just do a rescore on that person.
No, you don't do a rescore and authorize user.
Maybe
You
a
pull-
supplement.
Well, no, you just pull a new report. They end up updating at the end of the month. That's what we're talking about yesterday in the training, is that you cannot do a rescore on that. So what happens is that, so let's say that you did they went ahead and she added him as an authorized user to that,
You gotta wait for the reports to bureaus.
right, which would be, it's usually the last week of the month.
That's right.
So so what happens is, like on that David Thomas loan that Justin closed, he had them add it on the 24th, and when he pulled the credit on the 2nd, it was already on there. Okay. So, and I know that Brian didn't want to say anything, but that loan slipped through Brian's hands, and he getting ready to deny it. He was I don't know what to do with this type of attitude. And so that's what I'm telling you, that that's how you handle this loan, assuming that they want to buy a regular house. We don't do geodomes or ag homes like that. We can do a loan on agriculture exempt property where it's a single family home. It's agricultural exempt, but you cannot do a construction on a divided farm ranch / SFR, single family. We don't do those type of loans. If he needs that type of loan, he's going to have to go to a bank or credit union to get that type of loan. We can give him a loan for a house, single family or modular. He potentially qualifies for 0 down. We don't know yet because of the income. Anytime someone's over the income cap, always check and see if they have unreimbursed, or they have daycare, or there could be a 5th person that's in the home. Maybe they have an aunt or uncle that's going to live in the house with them. You don't know that. Okay, you don't know how people live. They could have. I mean, some cultures, everyone lives in the house. So maybe it's not presented to you, but they may have someone, right?
How would it work with a fifth person living in the house? Is that like a credit they get to?
Well, yeah, it's a higher income cap.
Okay.
With 5 people, the income's over 100K. So you have to find that out. I'm not saying you're forcing them to do that. That's not what I'm saying. They may have someone. Hey, is your brother going to live with you, or your uncle, your aunt, your daddy, whoever. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, some houses are different. So my point is, don't ever assume that just because they said 4, they may have someone else that lives in the house with them too. So we just don't know that. You have to ask them that. That's a really important thing. But that's how you'd want to handle this, assuming that if they want to do a loan with us, is check for USDA or as a manual underwrite. It's a manual underwrite, and they have to be below the income limit. If they're absolutely over the income limit, then have her add him onto her accounts. Because he's got to get a score for FHA. Realistically, he could have a score pretty quick, right within a month, because now you've already passed this reporting cycle. Let me go to the next one. So, but that, assuming that they are, or any customer, now these trainings that we're having is not just for this loan. This is universal for the rest of your time. So anytime you see something like this, how I would do it, assuming this guy wanted to get a loan with us, is I would start working on getting them pre-approved right now. You're assuming the sale, okay, as opposed to saying, no, I can't do anything for you. Go get all. You're not making this type of customer go through hoops. You're reducing the hoops for them and showing them a clear path. The hoops is for the people that have 500 credit and 600 income. Okay, make them go through hoops. This is something that if he's serious about getting a loan from us, we need to find a path for him. This is your money right here. This is exactly what I'm saying, is who gets denied from everyone else. That's a good loan. With the 80,000 year income and a wife with that kind of credit, you want this loan. But if he says, no, screw you, I need my geodome, then you can't. Okay, I understand. So, but he may come back. He knows he might. Does he have mortgage inquiries? I think I passed it. No.
0.
Yeah, you never know. Some people, he may try to shop it, or maybe he talked to some other places and they told him they couldn't get a loan. I don't know, but he may have already been declined. verbally, maybe not in writing. He may know he has a messed up situation. I don't know.
I think he has a sense because it's a company he works for. So he might have I don't know if he was seeking a specialty lender. He was researching online what would actually work out for him.
Maybe his lender for his place can't do the loan for him. Because they said, hey, you gotta have 700 credit. Oh, I don't have credit. Possible. Now, here's what you want. If you want to try, send me the website to the place. Let me take a look at these houses he's talking about. If you want to take it to the next level and even see if it's remotely, but what you're describing to me doesn't sound possible, but we can always validate it further. I mean, it sounds like what you're telling me from what I understand is that you have a home that's essentially split. Half of it is a farm type.
He said this one wall that splits it is like a special wall of some sort.
Okay, and so one side you have chickens and birds and stuff, and the other side you live.
Yeah, I was like about to start laughing on the phone. He's bringing in the cattle. And I was like, well, then my next question was, well, is this going to be income producing? And he said, no. So that just rang a bell in my head. But he's like, well, I'm slowly trying to build my herd up. So, in the next 2 years, it's not going to be income producing, but within the next like 4 or 5 years, it's probably producing some income.
Okay.
But
Tell him, look, I can get you a house right now, and then we can work on that later.
yeah, okay.
But the idea about how to move forward this type of loan is absolutely paramount. This type of income and this type of size of a loan, you definitely want this type of loan in there. And I tell you, man, we've all in the past we would have denied something like this. I think Ron just closed with Angela Moyer. This is what Angela Moyer. We just closed this loan. And when I sent it to him, he was like, what the fuck am I going to do with this? And anyway, this loan just got funded.
26 million.
No score. $155,000 loan in Pennsylvania.
So they had rental, 9 years rental.
I'm just saying that this loan is closed here. So, I sent this.
What did you have to show on that? All trades, rental,
all trades,
rental, factory reserves.
Reserves.
Wonder if their payment shot flow, probably.
I'm just trying to tell you though that
You can't let that scare you if it's
no, yeah, because I 870
go down
and 1100. So the point is that he just closed this loan here, okay. But when he was my loan officer assistant when he did it, and I handed it to him, he's like, "What am I going to do with this?" See, and he didn't know. Now he knows. So you have another dimension while you're learning his LOA. You're trying to learn multiple dimensions on how to a way to go, a route, take a loan. So you can't be a full-time loan officer. If you saw this, you're not going to know what to do with it. So now he knows how to do this type of loan. So you see.
Okay. Next one I have is last name Carson with a C. This is the primary is mother, his daughter recently divorced. Is the daughter. The mother's trying to help her out. I want to get this pre-approved. I got all their income docs in. Everything lines up. Just want to look over with
living in the house together.
They're going to be. So I'm gonna have to split it, right?
Mm-hmm. But you can do USDA.
Right.
They live in the house together.
Yeah, they're going to be. They're not going to be over income cap. I already checked that. They got a son living with them. Looks pretty good. The conditions on the pre-approval is obviously that's going to sell. That's on the market right now. But everything else to me, I just want to make sure it's good for contingent on the fact that sells. I just got all their income docs an hour ago.
Looks like a no-brainer to me.
But yeah, I just figured we review it rather than.
Yeah, I mean,
send them a letter.
Yeah, the credit's there. I mean, obviously it's contingent upon selling the home.
Right.
Um,
Mommy's got 10K in an IRA. She's Social Security grossed it up. Co-borrowers making like $14 an hour at JP Morgan is, I don't know, something or another, but
are you hooking up with our REA? Oh, this is Crowley.
I don't know.
Crowley's over there by,
Do we have anyone over
Crowley's over there by DFW.
What income do you gross up? Is it SSI, disability,
there? Anything that's not tax.
child support, everything that you gross up? Okay.
It's not tax, you gross up under 25%.
Yeah, Crowley's over there by DFW. We do have a realtor. Get with Mark Henderson and Nadia on getting the realtor.
Okay.
I mean, one of the key things here, guys, I'm going to tell you, if you want your loans to close, you need to take control of the realtor part too. Okay. I'm going to tell you, if you guys don't work that pre-approved realtor piece, you're just you're not going to close any loans. Really, I mean, you're going to lose all your time just taking apps, all this work and leaves, all this stuff that it's not going to materialize into fundings. You got to package this up with as you as the realtor and you are all together, and we're going to provide one service for you. Okay. So next step is Mrs. Carson. I'm going to get you pre-approved and put you in touch with the realtor. Don't ask her, do you want a realtor or can I get you a realtor? It's going to come with this, man. It's coming with it. It's part of one package. Okay.
That's a mistake I've made before, so I kind of leave it up to them.
No, do not do that.
I know.
That's a big, dangerous warning right there. That realtor will take that loan. Now, the thing is that you just hand it to any realtor? No. You do an interview on the realtor. Okay, if you find out if it's fishy when you're talking to that person, I mean, meaning that's a new realtor that you're getting signed up with them, then you need to interview them and make sure they pass your sniff test. If they don't send the loans to them. But I mean, that's how we have all these relationships with like Aaron and Dan and Keith and all that. We worked with them for years, so they protect the loan. So, I mean, all this work you guys are doing to get a loan in, and then some piece of shit takes it, that's fucking ridiculous, man. And it happens. It hasn't happened to you enough, but I don't know, when it does, it's painful, man. So you need to make sure that that when you're selling the loan, that they ask you, okay, for now, tell me how's this process work? Well, so we get you pre-approved for the loan. And then we put you in touch with our realtor. It's one of our USDA approved realtors. They're already approved with us, and they represent you and help you with buying the house. You don't pay for their services. They get paid by the seller, but they're there to protect your interests. That's why they're here, to help you find a house. If you go with a rookie realtor or someone that doesn't know USDA or the program, what if they screw up on the contract and they have you paying the closing costs? And the way we're doing the loans, you're not bringing any money to closing. Well, now because you went with the wrong realtor, now you have to pay for closing. You see, you're putting that in their mind. See, this is that piece right there, that whole part right there, and then managing the pre-approved pipeline is going to be a very secret and essential for your success in funding loans. Don't say, well, do you need a realtor? Do I have to get you a realtor? You want me to get your realtor? Don't ask them a question. You're telling them a statement of how it's going to work. Okay. Now, if they put up resistance and I don't want your realtor, or I already have my own kids, that's fine. That's not a problem. I'm just telling you, we already have ones that are approved with us that know the process and the system, and we've been working with them for years, and so they already know what to do. And it's just like any other business. You want to work with people that know what they're doing and aren't rookies, especially on a home loan. So, which is really the truth. We want to make sure that they're, because if you're just handing the pre-approval to the borrower or to some blind realtor out there, that's like throwing darts. There's not any management or director on that. So, and so I'm just telling you that's Like for instance, like Mark, he's great at getting ready. You guys met on the weekend. He's great at getting absent and getting people. I'm sure you heard him on the phone.
Mhm.
But his biggest missing link is as soon as he gets that person pre-approved, he has the lowest funding rate. Okay. So, and that's really his area that he needs to work on if he wants to grow and develop further. So, because he has the potential to do so much more, but it's just not managing that piece properly and effectively. So, anyway,
Yeah, I'll get that pre-approval ready tonight, tomorrow morning. Alfonso, offer came back as a counter, and they only asked two things. Number one, that the closing date can be by June 22nd, which I didn't see an issue with.
okay.
And also that an appraisal is ordered within 5 days of executed contract, which I didn't see a problem with that. I don't know why that's a stipulation. Yeah, we can have it ordered. That doesn't mean something can be up there though. You know?
I would say within 5 days of signed loan disclosures. Okay. 5 days of executed contract. What if you don't get a copy of the contract for 2 days afterwards?
Right.
Or what if the seller misses a spot on it? Sign it. That's no, you can't. I would not promise that at all.
Okay.
I would say, how about this? 5 days from the date that you sign your loan documents, which is basically just about a week out anyway. And it also protects the buyer. That's a weird request, man.
Yeah, I don't.
And they must be concerned about their house. I bet, you know what? If they're asking that, they're worried about the house appraising out.
Well, and then
See, why would somebody ask that question?
this is what they sent
Or make
over,
that demand?
and I just noticed on here, it shows approved capital repairs, $9,000. What does that mean?
See? Oh, yeah, does this house need repairs?
I wasn't under the impression that it did.
Okay, you need to talk to them about that. This house might need some repairs. Now, which is fine if the seller's, be covering it prior to closing, but we need to find out what type of repairs it needs and find out about that, man, because they're probably want to have the appraiser either cite the repairs or something, man.
Well, and then another wrench in this deal was originally she told me that she was a co on her grandma's account with the $40,000. Well, she just found out that that was her uncles that are on that. So that still kind of, in my mind, that kind of changes things because now that money is coming from a gift from her grandmother's account. So she's not going to be able to show as much in reserves as we thought originally.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of makes me worry because originally we're like, oh shit, we're probably going to these type of reserves. She just says to me today, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize because I asked for her statement showing that account. With her and the grandmother on that, I wanted to see the statement, obviously, the bank statement for that.
How does somebody do that?
I could send you the email, like.
Okay, can they get added to the account?
I asked, that's the first question I asked, and she said, my grandma's sick right now, I don't think that's gonna happen. And I didn't want to, obviously I'm still trying to be positive, I don't want her to think anything was going wrong, I was just kind of like, at this point.
Okay, you're gonna have to probably rerun it as a gift then, through to you.
Well, we never were getting the U approval in the first place, because we're waiting on the report to come back.
Yeah, but at 620 you probably would. Hopefully you'll still get a DU approval with this, with a gift.
Yeah. I think I should say anything to her. I just like at this point.
Well, I would say just, no, try to rerun it with a gift.
I was thinking.
And you know, you're gonna need to improve eligible to get those ratios over 43. There's manuals at 43 and below, under 43. So,
Yeah, man.
you know, that was, you know, she lied about that. How does somebody not know they're on an account?
She said that she's on her grandmother's checking account and her two uncles are on the savings, and when she dies, her uncles are dispersing those funds to whatever is set up in the will or something. Because that's what she said when I asked her if she could get on it. I'm like, fuck.
Well, you know, we could do is just tell, look, man, if you want the fucking house, put on the account.
Sure.
I was a loan officer I used to work with. They used to talk to people like that, and we usually work for them. Probably won't work too well with a recorded call, but
Yeah, right.
no, I don't want to do that. I'm just joking. There was a guy that I used to work with. I don't know if I told you, he was a steroid freak, and he used to, I don't know if I told you that, he used to scream at his customers. I don't recommend doing that. But no, I mean, you know, I probably need, you probably need to talk to her about it and say, look, let's say that it gets a refer from that, and then it gets an approval with her being on the account or him on the account. Look, I ran it past the underwriter, and that's what we're going to need if it comes down to it.
Well, they said if we don't close by the 22nd, it's $50 a day after that. So they didn't want that.
Oh, June?
Yeah, June 22nd.
Well, that's fine. You have plenty of time.
So I'm just waiting on the rescore. I sent that out this morning.
Okay.
Okay. Last one I had here. Last name was Gomez. She's looking pretty good. She's moving to North Carolina for a new job. Lives in Connecticut right now.
What's the first name?
LUZ.
Okay.
It's going to depend on, she says she's going to kind of save up money for 3.5%. I didn't want to afford 2 other bureaus because I didn't tell, a couple months down the road. She's moving. She has a new offer letter.
Why you want to go FHA?
She has wrong. Or we could do the rescore. I didn't pull the 2 other bureaus yet.
Well, the reason why her score is so low is because she's having revolving. She charged this up. That's closed. Maybe it's not closed. It's open. Charging this up and then might help her pop her score over 640. She has time. Does she want to go USDA?
My first impression when I looked at it, I was like, would you be willing to come up with a down payment? What's it look for? I told her about 3.5%. Is that something you could do? And she said, yeah. I just started working the FHA program with her, thinking it was going to be there. I would come back and see she's been talking to Quicken offered her FHA. I come back and tell her, look, you can also qualify for the 0 down home buyer program. But we may need to, you to, charge on your credit cards a little bit to pop your score up. Okay. And then the other question was, obviously, she has to have 30 days on the job by closing. Is it a transfer? It's a new job. Oh yeah, it's a new job, yes. Transfer, no. New job, yes.
Is that only for USDA?
No, that's for any loan.
Mm-hmm.
But that's if you're going to a new job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just don't know how she's gonna make that work because she's moving from Connecticut to North Carolina.
Well, she'll figure it out. Let's do that. You're not hired to figure that out. No. That's for her to figure out.
All right.
So
that's if there's no gap in employment, right? If there is a gap in employment, like greater than 3 months, then you need to have a good amount of time back on the job?
No, 3 months is okay. Once you start getting over like 6 months of gap of employment, or like a year, then you need to be back on the job for like USDA, like a minimum of 6 months.
Okay.
FHA, probably a couple months. It depends on the circumstances. Like if it's extenuating circumstances like health related, you'll probably a month on the job with FHA. USDA is always going to be 6 months minimum. If you're at a longer gap, 3 months is okay. It just needs to be documented, the reasoning. If it's because I'm a schmuck, then no, you're probably gonna have to wait a little bit longer. But it just depends on. Yeah, don't ever deny anything until we find out what the reasons are. Okay, because remember, these are government loans; they're there to help people out, and so there is some gray area there.
Yeah, that fucking 1.5 person for bullshit. So,
Did you ever get any final? I know you're supposed to talk to Cindy. Did you ever talk to her?
we were supposed to call her. I just honestly forgot.
You may want to follow up with her on that. Because, see if you can get the. Actually, you know what? Why don't we email the state of Texas USDA and find out what they say?
That's probably better. Cindy doesn't. Sometimes she just doesn't like to answer my questions.
Can you forward me that email, man?
Yeah.
On that, I want to email the state in Texas on that.
That was all I had.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Well, I hope it was a good training tonight.
Mhm.